so lucky that this is my career, because, and God has answered my call on this request, and I tell people this all the time. This is a non-religious based organization, but we have to be righteous in what we do. We welcome Muslims, Christians, Hindus, Jews, whoever they are, whatever their beliefs are. Even if they don't believe, we welcome you. But when you learn of our behaviors and you learn of how we treat people, that came from a foundation.
The first question was what's your vision for the future, for you or your family, or for the community, or for the world, or your programs, or?
I have 4 daughters, and I would love to leave a world that's safer, that offers equal opportunities. I would love to see a world where the quality of life is appreciated, and all are working towards the improvement of. I would love to see our model replicated, whether it's a hype or whether it's a whatever the name is, but our model is a cure. It attracts thousands and thousands and thousands of youth and families and seniors alike to this model.
Cure for community.
A cure for communities.
Yeah. And you remember dreams when you were a kid, younger, very young? Like when you were 6 or 7 or 8, did you have?
I always wanted to be a neurosurgeon.
Neurosurgeon?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And when did that come up? When did you hear about neurosurgery?
I'll never forget. I was watching a infomercial on TV, and my mother was sitting next to me, and the infomercial was promoting a university, which I don't remember what university it was, and it was mentioning all the different fields that it offered. And I seen neurosurgery, and when I asked my mother about it, and she said this is, the most complicated division of treatment and medicine that you can study, because it's the brain and technology isn't where it is. And it's like, I want to be that. I want to help in that. That's awesome, to study the brain, study how things move within it, and how we think and how we react and how we feel. I would love to do that. Unfortunately, sports took over.
Or fortunately,
yes, you're right.
The recent research is that the more activities we do, the more we rewire our brain, and so you're rewiring brains. So you were saying that you were 19 years old?
Yeah, I started hype. I was 19 years old. I used to participate throughout my high school career. I played basketball and soccer and multiple sports, track and field and baseball. But I participated in a basketball tournament. It was a 3-on-3 men's basketball tournament. And each year during that tournament, the older men would always fight. And when I would observe these altercations, I would notice that it was white versus black, or Hispanic versus Arab, and it was all racially driven. It wasn't really about the game of basketball or a bad foul or anything like that. It was racially driven. So when I had graduated high school, I brought all my friends together, and I asked for their support. I wanted to put a 3-on-3 basketball tournament together, but our mission would be different. And my upbringing was extremely diverse, and it's a long story I can leave for a later time. But the mission was to provide a drug-free, violent-free, and diverse athletic environment where we can promote and advocate for unity, acceptance, and tolerance through sports. And this was for adults ages 16 and up. But in order for me to really accomplish this mission of mine, I immediately recognized that we have to teach these kids this mission and the importance of unity and acceptance and, support and love for one another. So I worked with a lot of local school districts, 12, and we offered after-school programs, mainly athletic development programs. So using sports for development of any and all goals that these youth have. The values of sports with sportsmanship and hard work and determination and work ethic and, being a coachable athlete, things of that nature. We gained the support and raised close to $10 million through government grants, local grants, and personal donations, and built our first home here in Dearborn Heights. It's a 100,000 plus square foot facility with classrooms, library, arts and crafts rooms, programs for the disabled and special needs. We've catered to unimaginable individuals in this one facility.
I saw the kind of your wall of fame down there with the jerseys on it for some NBA players and stuff.
Yeah, many NBA players have come to this location. 4 years ago, I took another location on in the city of Wayne, which is about 10 miles away from here. And, that Wayne historically is a low to moderate income community. It borders part of Westland, Romulus, and Inkster, which are also low to moderate income communities. And our services just took off, not even in a jog, in a sprint. They just flew right when we integrated those services to those communities. That facility there is actually larger than this one. And the residents and the families there are extremely appreciative. We've been changing lives since day one. And, it would take, literally a couple hours to tell you everything that we do. But we have over 300 programs, from drug intervention programs, group therapy programs, vocational training for adults with disabilities, computer training, math, reading, arts and crafts, camp hype, basketball leagues, soccer leagues, travel programs. We just, one of our teams traveled, actually several of our teams traveled to Atlanta for a national tournament for basketball. And our girls 14 and under team just won the national championship there.
Oh my gosh.
We're really, and last weekend we had several teams in Fort Wayne, Indiana for another national tournament. And 2 of our teams placed second place.
Oh my.
So that's just basketball.
Which is just one of your components.
It's just one of our 300 plus programs. We have a partner parish philosophy, so we also work with local nonprofits as well that share a similar mission and specialize in things that we don't do. So we've partnered with Project Dignity, we've partnered with Books for Benefit, and they're housed out of these facilities, and they provide services to their own constituents. We are either represent on the board, provide financial support, or even space. So we have close to 20,000 books in the back of our building for Books for Benefit, where they provide these books to lower income communities and they provide them to their schools. So it's a great model. And
it's replicable.
Yeah, we launched this is why I told you it's going to take a couple hours, but I've been consulting for our government, and they send delegations to HYPE to learn about what we do, how we do it, and most importantly, why, right? The why has to be the motivator. We just launched a HYPE model in St. Lucia. It's an island in the Caribbean.
Yeah, Caribbean.
So I just spent 10 days there. It was really nice. But I got to meet the people and the Prime Minister and the Commerce Director, or ministers and of Education, Commerce, Investment, and Tourism. And they are absolutely in love with HYPE. We are launching officially in September with our after-school initiatives there. Had a chance to visit probably a dozen or so schools and talk to their kids and administrators, and there's a whole team there. They'll be, it'll be ran independent of this facility or this organization in the States. They have their own governing body and their own board, but it's all based on our model. Our policies and procedures have been shared with them, so it's pretty cool. We're hoping to expand, and the way we phrase HYPE is it's a cure for communities. Every kid loves sports. Every kid loves to play. If they don't like basketball or soccer or volleyball, we have really cool arts and crafts programs. We have a summer program for Camp HYPE. We have STEAM for science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. So there's so many different variations of programs and services that we offer. It's pretty cool.
If you were to talk to people that were younger, you do talk to people. You talk to them every day.
Every day, yeah.
What advice do you give, like adolescents and people that are just starting out?
It requires a unique approach, every child. So, for generally speaking, when speaking to a child, your advice is vague, right? It's broad. It's, stay focused, focus on your family, focus on God, focus on school, focus on who your friends are. You tell me who your friends are, I'll tell you who you are. You know, we categorize this phrase as often as possible to the children. Use sports as the example for how to succeed in life.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a metaphor.
Yeah, it's a metaphor. So if you're at practice and you're only going 50% on a layup drill or on a soccer shot, and you're just kind of like, let me just make this layup. Well, that's how you're going to end up playing in the game. All right, and you got to remember, when you're playing against somebody on another team, that person is going 100% to make this basket during practice, and when they come to the game, they're going to go 100%, and you're going to be caught sleeping.
Yeah.
You know, and this is life, right? This is life. It's as open and opportunistic as this life this country and this world offers us. You know, at the same time, it's kind of competitive.
Yeah.
Right? I want to do something. If I don't encourage myself and motivate myself to do it, someone else is going to do it, and I'm going to sit back and watch. And if you really, you know, if you really love what you do, then you can't consider it work. So, you know, again, to answer your question with regards to how do I advise a child, you know, it's, you know, for them, focus on your development, your mental, your cognitive, your emotional, your social, and your spiritual. Focus on that as a child, you know, so keep your mind good, keep your body good, keep your, you know, work your brain out, you know, read, study, learn if you have to learn, go to another country to learn. It doesn't matter, you know, just learn, gather as much content as you can about life. And then, you know, choose your right friends and have your belief. And
then I heard one more thing. Is that as you practice, you will perform. Is I heard that.
Yeah,
as
of
well
course.
In there.
Yeah, of course.
So practice hard.
Practice really hard.
Okay. Is there anything else that's come to mind? I think we've answered the 3 dream questions.
Have we?
This is an organic interview for me.
Okay. I hope I didn't go like.
Not at all. I'm gonna have probably 2 or 3 things because it's hard to have more than 10 minutes.
I understand.
At a time. But I'm gonna probably have 2 or 3 episodes.
And when this school bus of 30 students or 40 students went to this all-white school, we clashed. And we loved to play sports, but we played against each other, not with each other. And it always resulted in fights, and it always resulted in anger and just the wrong mentality. And then in 7th and 8th grade, again, they bused us from East Dearborn to West Dearborn, where I went to Bryant Middle School. But our passion for sports was collected and placed on a football team, and on the basketball team and the track and field team, where other than just basketball, there was no tryout. So we all played together, and we had one common goal, and that was to win. You know,